Hello, I'm Lindsey Bier, and I'm Assistant Professor of Business Communication at the University of Southern California. My specialization is investigating the role of non-state actors in public diplomacy from a communication perspective, especially within corporate diplomacy and citizen diplomacy networks. I integrate quantitative and qualitative data into these research studies. Today, the purpose of this presentation is to reflect on open science practices relevant to qualitative research. Although our agenda for open science and communication focuses more on research that utilizes quantitative methods, open science practices are not exclusive to any particular research paradigm, data form, or analysis type. The basic notion of making research transparent is one shared by scholars who employ both quantitative and qualitative methods. So today, first, I'll clarify how we distinguish qualitative research from quantitative research in our open science agenda. Second, I'll explain our call for qualitative research studies that promote transparency through pre-registration, sharing, and collaboration. Herein, qualitative research refers to approaches that aim to deepen our understanding of how and why certain communication phenomena occur, and also involve complex data that can be analyzed deductively as well as inductively by identifying patterns and themes that change and adapt as the investigation evolves and the data emerge. Such complex data can include textual data, as well as images and video and audio recordings. In qualitative research, data often come from smaller samples, by which generalizability is neither the goal nor the outcome. Rather, qualitative research seeks to uncover novel, in-depth insights about underlying viewpoints and processes and more comprehensive understandings of communication phenomena. Another profound benefit of qualitative research is its ability to reveal perspectives and mechanisms that a researcher had not identified a priori. So how does open science apply to qualitative research? Well, many of the research practices mentioned in our agenda, such as p-hacking and low statistical power, these questionable research practices don't apply to qualitative research, since qualitative studies don't usually include inferential statistics. Furthermore, replicability isn't the objective of every qualitative study. Nevertheless, we believe that qualitative research in fact can be strengthened by open science practices. Qualitative methods are rooted in general principles shared by many communication scholars, and these principles create standards that allow us to compare and evaluate results from qualitative research. For example, we can improve the trustworthiness of a study and assess inter-rater reliability when using qualitative coding techniques by involving multiple researchers with data coding. Moreover, we argue that open science practices can increase the quality of qualitative research primarily by improving traceability and transparency through pre-registration, sharing, and collaboration. So first, I'll discuss research transparency through pre-registering studies. Pre-registration of qualitative research increases transparency and tracks flexibility and modification throughout the research process. For the most part, pre-registering a qualitative study is fairly similar to pre-registering a quantitative study for the purpose of scrutiny by the scientific community. The process includes specifying the a priori choices for things such as sampling frames, data collection instruments, and data analysis. However, in contrast to quantitative research, qualitative pre-registrations need not focus on registering predictions. Rather, pre-registration of a qualitative study would focus more on the study design. Such a pre-registration process may motivate communication scholars to reflect carefully on their own personal values and biases prior to collecting and analyzing data and reporting results within the context of a priori values. Pre-registration may also involve disclosing the theoretical lens from which a researcher or researchers work. Thus, pre-registration could provide an additional layer of accountability and credibility for a qualitative study as a whole. In 2018, Alexandra Hartman, Florian Kern, and David Meller made available a really useful pre-registration template for qualitative research through the Center for Open Science, and we highly recommend use of this template. Next, I'll discuss maximizing transparency through sharing. Communication researchers engaging with qualitative data can share information throughout the publication process. This information includes research designs, observation, interview, and interrogation protocols, anonymized data, encoded data files, and coding strategies used to analyze these data. This approach allows other scholars to understand a researcher's interpretive lens, to assess the quality of results, and to use or adapt these materials in their own research. This increases consistency and comparability within qualitative research. We acknowledge that properly and safely anonymizing qualitative data to protect research participants' identities and information is of utmost importance. We can take measures to protect participants by using distal pseudonyms in place of real names, deleting information that would be identifying for the participants, such as interview locations, restricting availability to anonymous transcripts without any access to audio or other data formats, and digitally manipulating images or videos to disguise voices and to blur faces. Finally, I'll discuss collaborating among communication researchers. We encourage scholars conducting qualitative research to collaborate with others as a strategy for increasing transparency. Collaboration offers opportunity for increased methodological triangulation by combining qualitative and quantitative techniques into one study. Collaboration among scholars also allows for data triangulation by using multiple data sets or by linking primary and secondary data analysis to assure the quality of research results. Each of these possibilities, or any combination of them, allows for deeper insights into the research questions at hand and would help examine the relative stability, variability, and generalizability of a given result. If a number of researchers with different approaches find similar or complementary results, we can be more confident in the claims of this collective research in the communication field. In conclusion, it's beyond the scope of our agenda to address all aspects that need to be considered for the manifold approaches that are used within the communication field. Instead, we hope that this presentation about pre-registration, sharing, and collaboration will foster discussion about how various qualitative research approaches can benefit from engagement in open science practices. Thank you.